Woo! It's hot in Kansas City. I don't care if it was cold or not. We got plenty to talk about. Dan's with me. Welcome back to your AFC Championship game team. This is RGR Football. Woo! Okay, so that was fun. Folks, welcome back to RGR Football. I'm Ryan Tracy, the founder here, and I just finished recording the Locked On Chiefs podcast. You can go check that out. Some interesting nuggets. Dan and I are going to get into all the details. We're going to give you our notes and go through. We'll try to hit any super chats or any member stuff that we can get to, but we want to get through everything that we saw to give you the most. And we'll start right now. Well, how are you, Dan? Are you breathing yet?
So the way this happened was initially I was like, okay, the Chiefs are going to roll. I have dinner to make. So I had steak and my scallops ready to go. And then I'm like, oh no, I have to go make dinner, also deal with this nonsense that's happening on the TV. And then my wife's trying to relay me what stuff is going on. So like I'm stressing. I'm over a hot stove. Now I'm finally starting to cool down. My heart rate's back to normal. And I got to tell you guys, I'm fired up.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you want from a team. As bad as it was to watch Mahomes nearly fall back down, and I said to the wife exactly when it happened, that's concussion. He's gone for the day. They got to regroup. Kudos to this roster, to this staff for all the preparation that they've done for playing Chad Henne. Chad Henne changed my opinion of him today. Because I would have told you a week ago that Moore should be the backup based on what he did on the field last year. This changed it for me.
I mean, I think both of them do something similar. Maybe Moore doesn't throw the interception at that point there. But then I don't know if he's got the speed to do what Chad Henne just did. I tweeted out the play of the game for arrowheadguys.com, you guys, and I said that Chad Henne gave everything he had left in the athletic tank. All of it was right there in that 3rd and 14. He saw open space, and he's like, okay, I have to turn the clock back 10 years and go and try to get this first down. And he nearly did. Nearly did, guys.
I mean, yeah, that was 3 years of athleticism wrapped up into one play.
Yeah.
More power to him. I see that there's super chat. Just driving, glad you're here. And you should be. Whatever happens next week, you should be proud of this team because that's kind of what we're getting at. And folks, if you want to give us a super chat, you want to support the channel, that's one of the better ways. You can always hit the RGR store. We have some cool stuff out there too. Grab some gear for you because especially if you're first time here tonight, welcome to the run it back train because this game proved that even without the best player in the league, this team still has enough to get it done.
Yeah, I got to tell you, when he went down and then the Browns, you could literally see, and I know a lot of people out there will say momentum doesn't exist. You could literally see it change on the field. The Browns didn't have anything going with Patrick Mahomes in that game. They were about to have to throw their way back into it.
Yep.
Granted, a couple times they didn't convert their touchdowns, but they really should have. But that it changed the complexity of the game. Then they knew they could run the football. They started wearing out the defense. All of this, it was almost like slow motion for me. It was like happening as it's going on. I'm like, oh, here we go. They're just going to run the ball. And they did, just like I knew they were going to get theirs on the ground. They did in the second half. But that 3rd down that they had where they needed to get the ball back to Henne, they said, okay, we're going to do it. And they did. They just did everything they needed to do on that final Browns possession to ensure they have a chance to win the game. That's everything you could have asked for them in that point in time. Everything, and they all played for it.
I mean, that's team.
Yeah.
That is not just the quarterback coming in. That's the offensive line playing better in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
Darrell being Darrell.
Man, Darrell Williams, I did not expect him to start the game, but guess what? Le'Veon Bell was a non-factor in this game because Darrell was just so good. He did everything, and he didn't have to. He looked really good, too.
Yeah, I mean, Darrell's rest, he actually looked a bit thinner to me. Like, I think like
a little bit.
Like a little more explosive.
A little bit.
My favorite thing is they ran between the tackles.
They did. They did pretty well early in the game, too.
Now that's something that I talked about. If you guys missed it this morning, Quincy Carrier was on with me, who does a great job on his channel about the Browns. And he said something that I hadn't thought of. to me yesterday about Larry Ogunjobi has fits where he's great, and I was nervous about him destroying the interior. And he told me yesterday, he's like, he has games where he just doesn't perform well. And I think this was one of them. I think it opened the door. I thought Darrell did everything that he could. More kudos to him. I was shocked at only 2 carriers and 2 targets for Lev, and both those passes were off. I'm not going to blame Lev for not catching them, but clearly it was the Darrell show. And I was not only surprised, but really happy to see it.
Yeah, it was really awesome. And I think this also is the Patrick Mahomes effect. They came out and they threw the ball all over the Browns. Early in the game, they did it all the way up to halftime, and that allowed them to run the ball a little bit more effectively. And that's exactly what this team wants to do with Patrick Mahomes on offense. They want to set up the run with the pass. It's a lot of teams want to set up the pass with the run. You see a lot of play action pat stuff, but they do it in the opposite way because their run game isn't very strong with the guys in between the tackles. They turned it on their head and allowed them to run the football with Darrell Williams in between the tackles, and that's exactly what they really needed to do. And in that third and long the second and long they had on that final drive where Darrell ran and made it for a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, that was crucial. That was huge.
I mean, and between the two of them, I don't know what happened with Tyreek and Greg Lewis earlier in the game. They showed it, then they tried to say it was a joke. I'm not sure what that was. I think that could have been some legitimate frustration. But here's the other thing. Henne and Darrell and then Tyreek said, I can be the X factor. We can win this game even without Patrick. Give it to me. And they did, and that worked.
Yeah, I think that Hill was just a little upset about that missed touchdown. Just give me a second, guys. Give me another second, and I would have had a touchdown.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Gooch, you have a good point. I'm going to hold judgment until tomorrow night's stream because I want to rewatch it. I want to see how many pressures he got, actually, because I feel like he was getting chipped pretty good. You're right. I didn't see that much dynamicism. I would have liked to seen him step out this game, but we'll hold court on him for right now.
Yeah, it was a little – I saw him get blocked one-on-one with Njoku a few times. That was not ideal. Wow. Thank you, Nathan. That's awesome. Thank you so
appreciate that very much.
So, I mean, that was a little frustrating to me. But this we talked about it. This Browns offensive line is legitimately good. And I didn't like seeing them have to go, 3 deep at tackle and him still not get pressure. That's what really frustrated me.
That was my key too. Back up, he should have been all over it. Yeah. Third, he should have destroyed. And so that was a little bit concerning to me too. I will tell you this though. I'm glad that you noticed Njoku because Njoku can block and he's a dynamic athlete, folks. He's also a free agent. So I'm just going to tell you, if you're going to spend money on this offense, that might be a good place to do it because
I'd be okay with that.
And Romo pointed it out. When you flood a zone with 3 receivers like they like to do, it's very, very effective, right? You can flood the middle. When teams want to play 2 high safeties, you can flood the middle with Njoku, Kelce, and Hardman and have it all day long. So I'm sorry, I'm a little excited about that prospect. The fact that he can block decently too.
Right over here salivating at the prospects.
I mean, the only thing better would be have him and Sherm on the field all the time. I mean,
here we go.
Come on. Eric Schneider, thank you for yours. We very much appreciate it. Tyron is the greatest free agent pickup ever.
Man, he's been incredible.
I mean, and you can say, hey, he doesn't tackle that well. He went up high on Kareem Hunt once and got shrugged off. It happens. He's 5'9", 165 pounds. The guy's got more heart than a lot of teams do. So I'm perfectly fine with that. And I will tell you this. And it's official. LJ Sneed even blew my expectations out of the water.
So good.
If you guys want to have fun, go watch my film review from him last year. It's easy to find here on the channel. Just hit the search for Sneed. It's really interesting to see his progression because Ward got attacked early and he gave up some plays. Breeland had some penalties, gave up some plays. Sneed was the best corner on the field for the Chiefs today.
I'm going to let you guys remember earlier in the season when Ryan was too timid to say that he was the best corner on the team. And I said, he's cornerback 1, guys. He's cornerback 1. That's because he is. He's just the best corner on this team.
See, and this is why when you have your guy, you keep your guy. Don't let somebody steal it from you like Dan's trying to do. Always will be my guy.
That's true.
Okay, Corey. Yes. And that's the key is this is what should be scaring the pants off the NFL. You lost the best player in the league, and they were still able to beat one of the hottest teams in the league with just a bunch of guys, with a defense that everybody thinks is mediocre. That's key, because I will say this: Patrick's been tweeting, very supportive of Henne. I think that's great.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's on his phone, it usually, if you're concussed, you have some vision problems are fairly common. They wouldn't necessarily give you your phone back right away.
No.
So I think that's a positive sign for Patrick. I don't think, right from my gut, this has no medical information, but I don't think he's going to miss next week. So you might have dodged it.
Especially because Andy came out and said that he passed everything he needed to pass right after the game. That's the most encouraging thing. Like I said, I'm no doctor. I don't know anything about what he's going to have to go through this next week. But the fact that he came out and passed everything after the game and right after he was diagnosed with the concussion is the biggest thing.
Yeah. Gooch wants to know about kicking the missed field goal, I'm guessing.
He missed the field goal, and then the holder botched an extra point. Yeah, the kick, that was bad. It was real bad. But if you notice the next kick, the ball moved twice. It moved in two different directions. So I think he was clearly trying to compensate for the win that ended up not being there. Yeah, he missed a bad, easy make. That's just kind of how it is. Yeah. But it would definitely have been a factor.
Yeah, it definitely will.
Going for his job like some people on Twitter.
No, and I don't think you should. It's definitely something that's a bit of a concern. You got to have it in your mind. But normally with Mahomes, it doesn't become an issue. It's when you don't have him, it becomes the issue. So if this is a team game, every facet affects the outcome, and then that's what it's got to come back to. Folks, I'm sorry, you guys have a ton of questions out here. I'm very sorry to not get through them all. We only have about 20-25 minutes. So tomorrow night, especially if you guys aren't familiar with the channel, Monday night is all Q&A.
Oh, we'll get your guys' questions. I promise you that much.
Absolutely. We might even go over tomorrow because there's just so much. I'm not going to do by the numbers this week because I just don't have time. Yeah. I'll give you a video on Tuesday. It's going to be a first take where I kind of combine everything. And then we'll do our normal here. So we got Gooch's. I want to get Swi-Fi. Thank you for the super chat as always. And Gooch, I didn't say thank you for the last one. Thank you very much. Got Amelia ask about the call to run Mahomes while he's hobbled.
Bad.
At the same time, Mahomes has input in that.
I get it.
And I'm going to say, if it's working, it's working. I'm worried about turf toe that's going to linger. That's my concern about the foot injury.
I thought turf toe as well. But if you're going to call the play, pitch it 100%. You tell him, do not take it. Just pitch the ball. I don't care if you lose cards. Punt it away. Do not do that. No. Yeah,
it is a pitch play. It is not an option anymore. It's a pitch play. I agree. Why was Daryl so angry running like someone? Because he's tired of everyone doubting me. That's why, Danilo.
People thought that Le'Veon Bell was going to be the starter. And he comes out, no, I'm the starter, and I'm not giving it up either.
I'm the captain now. Maybe Snead should be a pass rusher. He was a pass rusher, Gooch. He got like 3 pressures today.
Yeah. He hid behind the offensive line of the Browns. He did it because Baker can't see over them either. He was able to do that.
And I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it right now. He got gypped in the All-Pro vote. He got gypped in the Pro Bowl vote. I'm sure he's going to get gypped for the Defensive Rookie of the Year vote. Okay. He's a manimal.
He's awesome. He's going to be one of the best corners in the NFL next year, like bar none.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to speculate. I got a couple ideas. We'll talk about that in the offseason. This is about this game. Day-Day-You, I hope that's how you say that. I'm not sure. Thank you for the super chat. Do you hope Mahomes will play? Do you hope? Yes, I hope so. And right now I'm feeling positive about that from everything we've heard so far. Usually the 24-hour mark is where clinically they want to make sure that you get to. So we'll know more tomorrow. They will come in for treatment on a normal Monday, and then they usually have Tuesday off. We'll see if we have some lingering stuff with Mahomes after that. Normal guy, do you think Dirty Dan will get fined? He definitely will.
Yeah, that was
live. I didn't think that was hat to hat. Yeah, on replay it was.
That's why they talked about it being so difficult to see live because it was so fast. You're really looking at the football, especially after it goes out of bounds. It fumbles. You don't really think about that possibly being a head-to-head collision, and unfortunately, it was. It was a really bad look for Sorensen.
Well, and I'll tell you this too: it wasn't only head-to-head; it was shoulder-to-shoulder as well. It wasn't like targeting in college where they're aiming for it. I think both of them were putting their heads down, trying to make the play.
Exactly.
But I do think it will be a fine.
Yeah, he definitely collided with the helmet, and he led with his crown of his helmet too. So,
Gooch, I'm with you. Chris Jones earned his money today.
He was all over that offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the best offensive lines, particularly on the interior in the league. So that is a positive thing.
Hey, Buffalo, he's coming.
Yeah,
he's
right.
Coming.
I mean, and can we take a second? because the Buffalo fans want to keep coming at me like, hey, there's no way they can keep up with the new Josh Allen. I'm like, the new Josh Allen's the same Josh Allen that played him last time when they lost. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, and that offensive line's not as good as the Browns' offensive line, guys. I don't want to say anything about that. So you might want to look at what Chris Jones just did and say he's coming.
Yeah, I mean, it should be nerve-wracking. Chris Kesey, thank you for your super chat. Mahomes is out. Mahomes out. The Chiefs become underdogs.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know.
For sure. 100% they become underdogs.
I don't know. I think Vegas might say, not that I care. I couldn't care less about betting wise. So I'm just saying, I don't know. I've seen Vegas do stranger stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a whole different animal without Mahomes, especially against Allen. When you know you could get into a game, unlike last time where it was run versus run, where it's arm versus arm. And if it does get to that, then it makes it very difficult to come out with a win. So, Chris, thank you for that point. I appreciate it. I know I skipped somebody else's super chat. I'm trying to find it, folks. Oh, looks like we got a new member too. Good Lord, I'm behind here. Maximo, thank you for your sticker. I missed somebody. Okay, here's Gooch again. Oh, Gooch, you're a machine. Thanks, bud. I appreciate you keeping the lights on around here. The in-house doc, Katie, yes, said that she's fine with the neck was because his neck was twisted and he had the blood caught off from the brain. Okay, so yeah, temporary hypoxia can cause that kind of stuff too. The reaction is about how you recover. So
thank you, Katie.
Yeah, and thank the doc for me. I might have to convene a special counsel here. I'll hit you up about that later this week. Kyle Peterson, thank you for your super chat. Has anyone trademarked Need for Sneed?
They kind of have to, right?
I'm sure somebody has. I got a t-shirt halfway designed for it, so don't worry about it, you guys. I got a couple other super cool things that we're going to get to in another week. So yeah, watch out. And credit to the guys. I worked in partner with a great photographer in Kansas City who did some work for me last year that you guys should see here pretty shortly. Want to make sure I hit the rest of them. Oh, not a new member, but Cole, welcome back.
Yes, thank you.
I know sometimes the memberships like auto renew, sometimes they don't, folks. If you're not a member and you're curious what it is, you get member only content every week. It's at least a video. Then every other week we do a live chat that's only members, and then we do live Zooms. And I've been trying to make sure that I get them all up so you can see them on replay. So if you're a member that's draft pick and you want to be in the chats, and that's cool, and you want to see what it's like, so that hopefully you get an idea. Let me make sure I got Gooch's. I got all the Gooches. Okay. and Robert Franklin, welcome to you, new member too. I will try to find that one if I missed it. Chiefs Knicks fans, thank you. Another member question. Which would you have kept Matt Hardman had a good game? Wish they would have kept Matt. Hardman had a good game. I do believe
I think he's probably trying to say they wish. I think he's saying that they would have kept going at him. I would imagine that's probably what he's talking about.
Okay, I was going to say because Matt Moore is still on the roster. He's just the third. So, and yeah, I was actually really happy with McColl today. I thought he made good decisions. He didn't put himself in jeopardy. He was pretty good with the ball, and he made a couple of plays.
Yeah, they did a good job of stretching the field vertically and horizontally. They attacked that Browns defense like nobody's business in the first half when they just used motions from left to right. They stretched vertically. They went underneath with everything. Andy Reid had this offense dialed in perfectly to what the Browns were doing defensively, and he had pretty much answers for everything until Mahomes gets hurt.
It's a game changer. Most teams, 99% of teams, not only this year but in history, would fold when your all-world quarterback goes down. Yeah. So, I mean, kudos to them all. Welcome, Robert. Avery, thank you for your super chat. Snead on Diggs, or what is the approach? It's a very good question. I would be a little bit hesitant to ask Snead to follow him all over the field.
Yeah, I would imagine he probably covers Beasley a bit.
That's my thought, too. I think he's the only one who can cover Beasley, so that's my thought. But also, it depends on Bashad. Bashad's out with a concussion as well right now. Yeah. So if Bashad can't come back, then he has to go to the outside, and hopefully you get Fenton back. Yeah. So the last thing in the world I want to see is Hamilton in there played in the nickel.
Or Keys.
Keys cannot run in the nickel.
No, I know.
No. I will protest. I will show up on Feach's door. Oh, Data.
I appreciate that.
Hey, yeah, it's nice. We have built quite a team around here, and I know Aaron's in the house tonight. I think Jeff's in the house tonight. Danilo's definitely here. We are all very excited and glad that you guys are here for this run back. This is what makes it fun, guys.
I can't tell you how the last 10 minutes of that game felt. I know you all felt it too. I was just, we all kind of got that feeling in our stomach, I would imagine, right? Like it was just like, oh, this can't be how it goes down. And then the defense said, no, it's not gonna be. And Chad Henne said, no, it's not gonna be. It was awesome.
Man, I gotta tell you, and credit to Hitch. Hitch said he got his legs underneath him while he was out. He certainly did. I thought he played pretty well.
Yeah, first half he looked a bit rough, but then you could see him finally start to see things properly. I thought Wilson had a few missteps. He wasn't filling gaps properly particularly on that Hunt touchdown. He was watching it happen. He just watched it happen, and that's something we talked about. You can't have happen.
Yeah. We'll fix the linebackers next year, I guess. Marky Mark, welcome. Appreciate it. Dave, thanks for your comment. That's a very good point. That is the thing. He'll recover, though, is with Diggs. If you let him get out eventually, he has the ability to recover, unlike a lot of receivers. Like, quite frankly, let me double check this before I make a butt out of myself. 20 yards for Jarvis Landry tonight. 20 yards. Yeah. Most of that was because he was paired up with Snead, but that's impressive. I don't feel like Jarvis recovers in the route once he's jammed as well as Diggs does.
I also don't think he's as good of stem manipulation and not letting people get your hands on him. Diggs is a magic man in the first 5 yards in the stem and getting hands off of him. He's very, very good at that.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right, Liz. They should make a movie like that, The COVID Miracle.
The COVID Miracle.
Getting guys back and avoiding what is, the house of infection that is Cleveland.
Yeah. They're lucky they had their coaching tonight.
Okay, Gooch with some medical expertise here. I like that. Doc told me that the protocol for concussions, also the fact that he ran into the tunnel and on the phone was a good sign. I thought so as well. Okay, so I appreciate that. Say thank you to Katie for me for confirming. I always feel like I'm a little bit out on the limb, folks. I am not a physician. I am a physiologist. They are not the same thing. I have ideas about things. They have answers. That's the difference. Hope Saints can't win, but can't TB12. Oh, I'm a Drew Brees fan. I know he's made some politically incorrect statements. He's thrown his teammates under the bus. But for a guy that got sold out in San Diego, I have always been a guy that kind of pulls for him. So I hope that he's a little more sensitive to his teammates' lives, and I hope that he can get the win over Tom Brady, because I'll take him over Pretty Boy anytime.
I don't mind Tom Brady so much. I know he gets a lot of hate, mostly because he's just wins. That's all he does.
Pretty kids stay together too. That's what it is.
No, he's a Michigan man. Okay, he's a Michigan man.
Jason, thank you very much. We're glad you're here as usual, and I think I see a stethoscope on your profile pic there, so we might have to have a conference. I'm going to need medical advice, people. And that's just mental mostly for me. So, hey, okay. All right. With that said, we are over 20. I've gone through all the super chats and most of the questions. Bradley, I just answered that question too about him. We will hit all the questions tomorrow night. So everybody who's here, all nearly 700 of you, come back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We'll call it Central. We'll go through all the Q&A. Hopefully we'll have more data, not only about Bashaw, but about Patrick by then, and we'll have a better idea. Enjoy this. This was a team win if I've ever seen one for the Andy Reid era at the very least. And hopefully they get Patrick back. But this is something this team can win going forward and get through adversity is my big takeaway.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway is that I think this gives everybody an injection of adrenaline. You lost Patrick Mahomes. You watched the Browns come back and nearly try to take the game from you, but you stopped them, and then you went out and you did everything you could do to win. I think that gives them an edge going forward just from that feeling. I get it's an emotional high. You didn't know what was going to happen, and a lot of teams can come down off that. But I think everything coming together, Mahomes, if he gets activated, that will just get them even higher than they were before.
I'm with you. That's it for us tonight, folks. Oh, except Isaiah just threw a super chat too. I don't want to ignore that. Felt like they took too many shots downfield at times instead of taking what the defense was giving them. I think they started really good about taking advantage of how they were deployed. And I do think they got a little bit stubborn at times. And I won't say it's Patrick because I'm sure Andy runs layered routes. He very rarely just sends everybody on deep goes. Like they do run 4.
Yeah.
They attack with 4 a lot, but there's always usually an outlet of some kind. And so it's really up to the quarterback to make that decision. So that said, that's the last super chat. Want to make sure you got that. You guys be back tomorrow, 7:00. We'll do all the answers to your questions. Thank you for being here. Enjoy this one. And we'll start talking Bills here probably sooner than you think. Have a good one, Dan.
You too, man. It was great.
Good night, all.